Hello everybody, welcome back to Pignoli Brothers Facebook Live. I'm here with Nick, Tony, and Vinny. Same characters as every week. It's a little warm back here today, so we're all kind of hoping that the storms this afternoon maybe break some of this humidity. So what we're doing here is we're going to take you through the process of how we make our Amaretti cookies and our Pignoli cookies, which are Pignoli Brothers' favorites, over the past 100 and some years. The thing that's special about our Pignoli and Amaretti cookies is that we make our mixes from scratch using pure almond paste, brown sugar, egg whites, and regular granulated sugar. Each batch is mixed, has to be mixed 24 hours in advance because once it comes off the machine, it's a little bit soft, so it needs to kind of settle for 24 hours. From that point, we then go through the process of hand piping them on pans and hand dipping them in our Pignoli nuts and our granulated sugar. So, as you can see here, Nick is many things, but one thing that Nick is for sure is a professional, and you can see the uniformity of his cookies. Nick, you could say hello. I mean, you could look up.
Well, hello, everybody.
You know what I mean? Like, help me out.
Welcome to my Pignoli Cooking 101.
I feel this is very stiff. This can't be like a stiff thing. This is supposed to be entertaining.
And not stiff.
You know what I mean? Like, this isn't a tough job here. We're just piping cookies onto a pan. All right, so what Nick is going to continue to do here is pipe these, and the more uniform Nick is, the better off the cookie will become, because the spacing is very important when it goes into the oven. If they're too close, not like that, but if they're too close, then what happens is they don't bake properly. They're a little bit more raw. If they're too far apart, then they tend to burn. So the spacing is very, very important. Okay, so Nick finished his first pan. He's going to start on the second pan here. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to dip these in the Pignoli. Now, as awesome as Nick's job is, and as difficult as it is, and Tony and Vinny here as well, this is what makes the Pignoli cookie. These Pignoli nuts. So these Pignoli nuts are either Spanish or Portuguese, and they are very, very, very expensive. How expensive, you may ask? Well, we just spent over $33,000 on just these Pignoli nuts. My brother could probably get into that a little bit more, but that's how important these nuts are to the finished product. And it's very unique to Pignoli Brothers because most places use Chinese Pignoli nuts, and they're much different. This is the premium, this is the Cadillac, this is what most places can't really afford in terms of Pignoli nuts. And you can see that we use them very liberally. Okay, so they're dipped, they're pressed down, and then we shake the Pignoli nuts off, and then we have to fix. Then we have to fix them if they moved a little bit, just to keep that spacing proper. Very, very important.
So these Pignoli cookies are part of our assorted, our Pignoli Brothers assortment that we use for our gift boxes, our signature assortment. But if we just, people really reach for these when they open that box. You see a lot of Pignolis out there. You'll see Pignolis that are used that are sourced from China and different parts of the world, but nothing compares to the Spanish and the Portuguese pine nuts. These are long and they don't burn as much as the Chinese or the other brands that are out, the other origins that are out there. And we use, this is a combination of nuts. So we have certain nuts that after we bake our cookies, we have certain nuts that fall off. So some of these pine nuts are toasted. They've gone through the oven already, and we blend them with fresh nuts. That's why you have an array of different shades of brown on here. So we bought 24 boxes of these a couple weeks ago. And with freight and everything, at $50 a pound, about $33,000.
So we know everybody buys them out there, how expensive they are, and we think it's very important that you see why they are expensive.
And the people who love this cookie, if you've never had it before, the people who have had it before, they'll tell you it's worth every penny.
I might have got a little aggressive here with these cookies.
So the ones that fall off, they just get more nuts.
That's
Now
live,
they-
right?
Now they have nuts underneath.
Okay, so that's the pignoli. Now I'm going to show you how we do our amaretto, which is a very similar production process. So these are ones that Nick just piped out, and then we actually dip these in the sugar as well. Make sure they're coated really well. And that's it. That's the amaretto cookie.
So the same base for the cookies.
Same base for both of them, yes. Yes. So these cookies will now go into the oven, and these cookies will now go into the oven. Rob is behind us. He's prepping for New York cheese. If you want to get a glimpse of the New York cheese.
Say hi, Rob.
Hey guys.
And
New York cheese.
in between the New York cheese and the cookies, Rob's very busy there by the oven. So this is what the New York cheese is going to end up being. We make our own crumbs for the inside of the oven. Okay, so we're going to do a couple more here. You can see I'm deciding what's sugar and what is pignoli because of the size of the cookie. So if they're a little bit bigger, we go sugar. If they're a little bit smaller, we go pignoli, just because when you pat down the pignoli nuts, it tends to spread the cookies. Once these cookies are baked, they are then hand packed into clear containers for all of our retail stores and our mail order shipping department to use as they need.
So how many are we making today?
That's a good question. We're going to be doing this for about 2 hours. The 4 of us will be doing this for about 2 hours. And whatever we get from it is what we get from it. Typically it'd be around 2 racks, maybe a rack and a half of each. At Christmas time, which is when we were absolutely buried, we're making these all day, every day, just to fulfill our online shipping. So you could imagine we're all pretty strong by the end of the Christmas holiday. We all kind of look like Popeye for a few weeks. Yeah. So that's our pignoli and amaretto production. One of the best things about this is God's. It's almost like God's special cookie, because without these very special nuts, I'm not going to say the cookie's not special because we make the mix by scratch and we actually do all the hand work that's put into it, but the flavor is so tied to the quality of the nuts. So the next time you get pignoli nuts from somebody, or you get pignoli cookies from somebody, pay attention to the nuts and how they look.
And the almond paste. So we use almond paste as the base of the cookie itself, which is like, in the baking world, it's super premium product. And over the years, as you can imagine, like everything else, it's gotten exorbitantly expensive.
Nick, why don't you go grab one?
Yeah.
We're going to grab one for you, just so we can break it. Get two. I'm assuming one. Yeah, man, I want to eat one. You're asking me like I'm a crazy person. If you had access to eating these all day, wouldn't you?
So because of the almond paste, does that mean that it's gluten-free?
So technically it is gluten-free. We don't put any flour in this mix. We don't dust the pans with flour. But people who inquire about that, we tell them it's an open-air bakery, so we can't make any guarantees against cross-contamination. However, this particular cookie, the Amaretti and the Pignoli cookie, people do go to it if they are gluten-free.
I bought a couple extra in case any other
Ooh.
fat bastards want to use them.
Doing a good job here, buddy. Come on. You gotta break that in half, show them the texture. You know, I mean, come on, we're doing, this has gotta be something like fun. Look at how moist it is. Look at how big
It is. It's a good for
It's beautiful, right?
Yep.
Didn't you want to eat one?
Yum.
Tony,
Yes. Thank you.
enjoy.
He's Alicia.
Tony likes the Amaretti cookie. But this, the Pignoli cookie that is the cookie. That is the one.
All right.
Yeah. So, just so everybody knows, we have been starting to get some questions online, and starting with our next Facebook Live shoot, we are going to start answering some of those questions. If you have any questions in regard to anything involving Germany Brothers at all, feel free to email them to us, and we'd be happy to mention your name and answer to whatever question you may have.
Pretty good.
So, yeah, pretty good.
No, I said
Did I say $33,000?
I said friggin'
I don't want to
good.
miss that part.
Friggin' good.
And just so you see, again, I always like to show our other production. Robert is actually filling these New York cheesecakes. They're going to go in the oven pretty soon, which is another whole handmade process. Maybe we'll do that next week. See what you guys think.
All
So I
right.
hope you enjoyed it. This is Germany Brothers Facebook Live, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Everybody keep your eye out for the reels coming out next week. Every Tuesday we put a reel out of our production on Facebook Live. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.